Welcome to part 2 of our 10-part series on the best HR software in 2026. In this episode, it's all about HRIS software, the system of record that sits at the center of everything HR does. We'll look at what makes a great HRIS, the top platforms for small, mid-market, and enterprise businesses, and how your industry shapes your decision. But before we dive in, this video is sponsored by several HR leaders, including our title sponsor, Paycom, as well as our other sponsors and partners, Dayforce, Net at Work, Bamboo HR, PDS, and Paypro. What a stellar group of platforms. You can learn more about each of them through the links in the description, and stick around to the end for more resources. All right, let's dive in. What is HRIS software? HRIS, or Human Resource Information System, is the system of record for your workforce. It's the central database where you store employee information, manage org structure, and maintain compliance. Think of it as the foundation that every other HR tool connects to. Where HRIS gets interesting is in those connections. A well-implemented HRIS becomes the source of truth for payroll, benefits, performance, recruiting, and compliance. When those connections are clean, HR runs smoothly. When they're not, you end up with discrepancies and compliance risk. So, let's walk through the landscape. What works well for small organizations, and what scales into mid-market and enterprise, as well as how industry shapes your decision. Best HRIS software for small businesses. For small businesses, the HRIS is often the first HR system they've ever had. They're graduating from spreadsheets and shared drives, and the bar isn't about finding the most feature-rich option, it's about finding the right fit that will actually get used. The best small business HRIS platforms strike a balance. Simple enough for a solo HR generalist or office manager to administer, powerful enough to cover core needs, employee records, onboarding, PTO, benefits enrollment, and compliance docs. Key requirements at this level include clean employee profiles and org charts, a single place to view and update job details, reporting structure, and personal info, onboarding workflows, digital new hire paperwork, e-signatures on I-9s and W-4s, and task checklists so nothing falls through the cracks, PTO and leave management, easy request and approval workflows, accurate accrual tracking, and manager visibility into team availability, basic compliance tools, automatic updates for state and federal requirements, EEO record keeping, and document storage for audits, integrations with payroll and benefits. At this stage, the HRIS often doesn't run payroll itself, but it needs to talk to whatever does. Here are several HRIS platforms consistently chosen by small businesses. Note, these are listed alphabetically. You can see the platforms on the left with notable callouts on the right. I won't read through every single one because we have a lot more to cover, but I recommend taking a screenshot and returning to this list later, then setting up demos to see them in action. There are also links in the description where you can get a much more detailed breakdown feature by feature in the Select Hub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. There you go, some of the best HRIS software for smaller organizations. Before we move on, a quick shout out to our title sponsor, Paycom. Unlike systems that bolt together separate tools, Paycom is truly all-in-one, meaning payroll, HR, time tracking, benefits, compliance, and more all live in one database, with no data reentry, no app hopping, and no security weak points. Even better, Paycom is built on automation. Their AI engine, IWant, gives your workforce permission-based, command-driven access to employee, candidate, and management dashboard data. Just ask a question and it pulls real-time answers instantly, no navigation required. And with automated time-off decisioning, schedule management, and payroll processing all running in the background, Paycom is designed to take the never-ending flood of administrative decisions off your plate. Thanks to Paycom for supporting this series. Check them out through the link in the description to see if it's the right fit for your organization. Now, back to the show. Best HRIS software for mid-market organizations. As organizations move into the mid-market, typically 50 to 1,000 employees, the HRIS has to do more than store data. It needs to support the operational complexity that comes with growth, multiple locations, more nuanced job hierarchies, and a workforce that's no longer a homogeneous group. Mid-market HRIS buyers typically look for multi-location and multi-entity support, the ability to manage employees across different states, countries, or business units within a single system, stronger role-based permissions, different levels of access for HR admins, managers, executives, and employees, especially as headcount grows, automated workflows, onboarding, offboarding, position changes, and compliance tasks that trigger automatically based on rules rather than requiring manual follow-up, richer reporting and analytics, turnover by department, headcount trends by location, and compensation summaries that go beyond basic headcount tables. Here are several HRIS platforms often chosen by mid-market organizations. Again, screenshot this list, and there are also links in the description where you can get a much more detailed breakdown feature by feature in the SelectHub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. Our analysts have reviewed popular HRIS platforms in depth and ranked them with scores based on a myriad of factors like features and integrations. So, if you're in the market, you definitely don't want to miss these side-by-side comparisons. Again, links to the SelectHub platform in the description. Best HRIS software for enterprise organizations. At the enterprise level, typically 1,000 employees and above, an HRIS stops being a people database and starts functioning as global HR infrastructure. The stakes are different, the requirements are different, and the implementation timeline is measured in months, not weeks. Enterprise HRIS platforms need to support global org management, multi-country employee records, position management across legal entities, and localized compliance for every region where you operate. Data governance and audit trails, role-based access controls, change history, and audit-ready record keeping that satisfies both internal and external requirements. Position management and headcount planning, the ability to model organizational structure, approve positions, vacancies, reporting hierarchies, tied to financial planning, advanced workflows and approvals, compensation changes, job reclassifications, and org restructures that route through multi-level approval chains automatically, integration with ERP, finance, and data systems. The HRIS must connect reliably to SAP, Oracle, Workday Finance, or whatever enterprise systems the organization runs, and contribute HR data to workforce analytics platforms. Here are several platforms consistently chosen by large enterprises for their scalability, integration depth, and governance capabilities. Screenshot this list and dive into the links for SelectHub's feature-by-feature comparisons. Our analysts have reviewed popular enterprise HRIS and HCM platforms in depth. A little extra research could save you a significant amount of time and resources later. Links to the SelectHub platform are in the description. There you have it, an overview of the best HRIS software in 2026. From smaller organizations through to enterprise. For more HRIS resources, including pricing guides and SelectHub's database of feature comparisons, check out the links in the description. One more big thank you to the sponsors who made this series possible, including our title sponsor, Paycom, as well as our other sponsors and partners, Dayforce, Net@Work, Bamboo HR, PDS, and Paypro. Each of these brings unique value depending on your organization's size, industry, and HR maturity. Links to each of them are in the description. I'm Devin Hennig with SelectHub. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.